NASCAR is reportedly leaning towards bringing back the 10 race chase format. Jordan Bianchi on the Teardown on Sunday night said that NASCAR is leaning that direction. Now, NASCAR used that 10 race chase format from 2004 all the way up until 2013 before adopting the elimination style playoff format that we currently have now. Now, the fan outrage over this format over the last few years has grown to the point where NASCAR, now because of industry feedback and from fan feedback, is looking at changing how they determine a champion, scrapping the one race winner take all championship format, which I think is probably a welcome change by majority of the fan base, and they're potentially going to go back to that 10 race chase. Now, how many drivers are going to be included? Will Jeff Gordon get the extra add in there? Is there going to be wild cards? All of that remains up in the air. Is it going to be 10 drivers, 12 drivers, 16 drivers? Is when you're in going to still exist? I don't know at this point, but I think that this is probably the best compromise. I would love to see a 36 race championship come back. I understand people get really upset when you say that. Well, what happens if somebody wins it 3 races early? That's literally never happened in NASCAR in the Cup Series, at least in the modern era. So yeah, I don't think that's really applicable here, but if you want to dream up weird scenarios, then by all means, dream up some weird fan fiction scenarios and get angry about it. Ultimately, it would probably come down to the last race, especially with the way that the points are currently handed out. So I think that it would be enjoyable, and I think being good over 36 weeks is difficult and really impressive if you can do it. At the same time, I think this is probably an okay compromise. It gets rid of the elimination format. It gets rid of that one race winner take all. You have 10 races from start to finish. Whoever has the most points at the end of that wins. Okay, I can get behind that idea for the most part. I'm interested to see sort of what playoff points still look like, if those continue to exist. If it's winning you're in, how stage points play into it, everything that goes on into that. Because I think not only do we need to change the format to make it easier and more fair in a sense, I think you also need to simplify the point system, because right now it's a little convoluted as well. So I think this is probably the best compromise out there. I wasn't really sold on the 3-3-4 format. I can be sold on the 10 race format. I can really be sold on a 36 race format. But one thing I'm certain of, we should definitely get rid of the one race winner take all.